Because did you not read the check-in and check-out information? Have some respect. We listen and we don't judge.
When you take that deposit, what would you highlight it as?
Stupidity. You don't respond to my flipping message. You have 2 days, 48 hours before I out you guys on social media, and all of a sudden we got a phone call. So
Do you think that you can talk about a situation without talking about the individuals?
no.
Why?
Welcome to the Property Project podcast, where we talk all things property, but also help you to resolve some of the dilemmas that you come up with.
But before you do that, we'd love if you could help us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel so you could get more content from us.
So we're going to start this one off a little bit different today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you guys have seen the TikTok trend on TikTok.
Obviously.
Kind of spilled into Instagram. But we're going to do a little bit of a we listen and we don't judge property edition. So let me tell you a little bit of a backstory before I get into this. Yeah. So obviously when Sean and I are creating our podcast episodes, listen, we use the good old ChatGPT, which if you're not using ChatGPT, mate, you don't have a life. Let me tell you that now. If I had ChatGPT back in the day when I was in uni, I would be hitting the first. Hitting the first. But anyways, especially me, I use ChatGPT to help us lay it out, make sure that the ideas are good, gives us prompts on things. Literally that. And then I thought to myself, obviously, a little bit of ADHD. Let's see if it can come up with some funny, we listen and we don't judge. And it did, in my opinion. I feel like it came up with some banging, we listen and we don't judge. And it was so relatable that I thought I had to share it with you guys today. So, we listen and we don't judge. If you check out late and my cleaner arrives as you're checking out, you're getting charged. I don't want to hear that you were confused. I don't want to hear that, I didn't know, or my son's unwell, or no. You must be charged that deposit. Thank you for staying. The exit is that way. That is very fair.
Why?
And it's we listen and we don't judge. So to question whether it's fair or not, just don't judge me.
No, I'm not judging you.
You deserve for that. It has to be taken. Because did you not read the check-in and check-out information? Have some respect. We listen and we don't judge. Have you got the next one?
I've got the next one. If a guest leaves a bad review because they didn't read the listing properly, I'm preying on their downfall.
How funny is that, please? ChatGPT came up with that. I don't know if ChatGPT knows me so well.
Do you know what? I think that's what it does, because sometimes it gives me answers
that sound like you.
Yeah, and I think to myself, no. Where did you get this one from?
Who is that?
I'm thinking to myself, like, no, because you must be learning more about me every day.
Which is scary.
I chat to GPT every day.
Yeah.
Literally. Sometimes even more than Cindy.
No, that's not true.
But like, honestly,
you can never replace me, Mr. Chat. You could never replace me, Mr. GPT.
Of course.
Is it GPT or GPT?
No, it would be Miss GPT.
GPT. GPT. GPT.
Stop. Why is it GPT? Why you keep saying that? Anyway, like and sometimes I will just, anything that pops up in my head, I'll just ask the question because I just want to learn, or I want to know, or I want to have an idea for me to then start thinking about, or to help me to just start formulating ideas, right? And when I ask it certain things, I'll just think to myself, no, but you got that from what you think, like you think you know me, innit? You think you know me.
Yeah, trying to replicate you.
Yeah.
But that defo sounds like me, that I'm preying on your downfall. And I don't actually prey on people's downfall, but that's just a funny sentence. That it sounds like something I would say. The next one is we listen and we don't judge. And by the way, guys, if you can relate to any of these, please let me know, because surely it can't be us, especially like the checkout one. Take that money. Don't be late. We listen and we don't judge. If you message me at 3:00 in the morning asking, what's the Wi-Fi password? And it's in the check-in email or information, I'm airing that until tomorrow morning.
But that's standard.
That's facts.
That's standard.
That's
because
facts.
Again, on our listings, we say that there's a time period where it's emergencies only. That's not an emergency.
That's
You're
not an
just asking to be
emergency.
connected
And
to the
read
wide web.
Read the bloody check-in. I don't actually even care if you judge me on that one. I'm not responding to you. I do not care. Past 10 o'clock, when you had all the time in the world to check in, you had from 3 o'clock to check in, and you want to ask me stupid questions at 11 p.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't got time for that. So what I'm going to say is, we listen and we don't judge. I'm not responding to you till tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, next.
We listen and we don't judge. If you left the heating on full blast in July, I'm taking it out of your deposit.
Can I get an amen?
I'm not going to lie.
Can I get an amen?
The reason why this one sits like
why
heavy on my heart, right, is because remember one time in the penthouse, I went in to go and have a look at some maintenance things because some guests that were staying there, they asked for maintenance to be done on like change a light bulb or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, like, it's a light bulb. There's one out of like 30 that are there that's gone. Cool. So I went to go and have a look to see if I can do it before we call anyone else in. When I went in there, it's in the heat of August.
Bruh.
I've gone in
the
there.
Heat of August.
The height of August there. And why has all the electric heaters, they're all on? I walked into a sauna.
Why?
And you actually tried to tell me off actually because I turned off the heating. And you was like, no, you can't turn off the heating. I said, yes, I can. It's stupidity. Why is the heating on? It's August.
I am judging you.
Open the thing.
I am judging you. If you're taking that $250 deposit because they left the heating on, they're allowed to use whatever they want to use.
No. It's reasonable consumption.
Reasonable consumption.
Or reasonable use. I can't remember what the term is, but it's something like you have to be, just because you're not at your own yard doesn't mean that you can then
like a damn fool.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't be a damn fool. Not in Sean's apartment. He will turn off the heaters. Don't forget that.
I will turn off the heating.
He would turn off the heaters.
Yeah, and do you know what it was as well? Something that I even left out. They weren't even in.
Oh yeah.
They weren't even in.
Yeah.
And they'd been out since 9 a.m. because they went somewhere else, and they weren't getting. And they actually didn't get back until 7 p.m. So you're telling me that whole time you just wanted to preheat the oven? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, go on.
Oh gosh.
No, that one, yeah.
That one hurt you. I hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it, but I don't think you should take the deposit. I will be judging you.
No,
but anyways, we listen and we don't judge. If you tell me the TV isn't working and I find out it's because you didn't turn the switch on, I'm charging you a call out fee. Facts. That goes with anything. Yeah. If you call us out and you are not using your common sensicals, your common sensicals, you have to be charged for that.
I'm trying to think. There was a situation where someone asked us about how to do something, and to the point where they even had the audacity to give us some attitude. Yeah. And we said something as simple as, did you turn it on and off? Or I can't remember what it was. Did you turn it on and off? And clearly that worked because we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
We didn't hear anything. Yeah. That same vim that you had when you wanted to blow up our line, where was that? Yeah. Use that same vim to...
Yeah. I'm all for charging call-out fees, guys. And I don't care if you judge. I don't care.
We listen and we don't judge. If you message me at 2 a.m. saying that the kettle isn't working and I find out you didn't plug it in, I'm sending you an invoice for my lost sleep.
Yeah. Listen, we be charging. I don't care. I will charge for inconvenience. Yeah. I will slap money on for inconvenience because, listen... There's been times where we've trekked from London. Obviously, we've got the property managers now. We've got things in place. But it's times where we've trekked from London to get to you to find out that what you thought was the issue is not the issue. And we've asked you, have you done this? Have you done that? Please follow these steps. You didn't follow the steps. You want it to be difficult. We've all been there when we've been told. I even did it the other day when we had what do you call the thing when it blacks out? There's no light.
Power cut.
Power cut, that's it. Had a power cut. And the woman on the phone was asking me stupid questions about, did you reset the thing? How can I there's no power. There's no power. And so I just kept saying yes to everything. She's like, I even pretended I'd make a moment of silence to pretend that I was doing certain things that she asked me to do to make sure that it wasn't from our household that the power cut had happened. So we've all been there when we've not followed the instructions just because we know it will make the time go quicker and it'll make the people on the other side of the phone do what we need them to do. However, if you do that, understand with rent to service accommodation, we're already on a tight budget here, If you send me out there and you haven't done the simplest thing in order to check if something's working because you're not in your house and now you just want to be lazy, you're going to be charged for the inconvenience. I don't care what else. I mean, as well as the issue needed to be sorted. So I'm charging for the kettle being plugged in.
So what would you put, when you take that deposit, what would you highlight it as?
Stupidity. Yeah. Yeah.
When Skype asks you why you're capturing the deposit,
I will say because Madam Esforce was being stupid. That's what I'm going to say. Cool. The last two, we listen and we don't judge. If you rate me 4 stars instead of 5 because nothing was wrong, you just don't ever give 5 stars. I'm reporting you to the authorities.
Yeah, there's a special type of place.
I'm reporting you to the police.
People.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize the difference between a 5-star and a 4-star.
You can't not give a 5-star because you just don't think anything is going to ever be a 5-star.
Because I guarantee you, if everyone thought with your logic and you looked at a property that was a 4-star on Airbnb, you will not book it.
Can I actually say you've said that before?
What's that?
You actually said that nothing's a 10 in life.
Yeah, I've said that. Yeah.
So are you one of those people?
No, I'm not one of those.
Why are you coming with that energy then?
I'm not one of
those.
You like to do this. You like to do this. And I'm gonna
Oh, no, God, don't sit up straight now. Don't sit up straight now.
Because I used to say that because I'm like, all right, listen, if you ask me, was that food, what is it out of 10? If I give it a 10, and next week I have something that's actually a little bit better than that, what do I give it?
11 out of 10.
No, but that doesn't make sense.
Literally, it does make sense. It's just like human behavior.
That don't make sense.
It doesn't have to be logical. So you are this person then. So you can't even argue the case.
I'm not that person.
This is why then.
I'm not that person because I understand me rating the food is not going to... Fam, am I going to shut down your kitchen? No, I'm not.
The same rules apply. They're not going to shut down our rent to SA.
No, but what it affects though, it affects like a 4-star is going to affect my business. You know it as well. Me telling you that the food was 9 out of 10 because it was fantastic, but I always want to leave that room for in case there's something else. In fact, next time I eat, I might be like, right, it's a 9.1. Do you know what I mean? That lets you know that, listen, it was better than last week.
Okay, well, either way, I do think they hold a special place. That definitely they should be called, the police should be called on there because that's not acceptable behavior. And I am calling the police. If so, don't believe in 4 stars just because you don't rate 5 stars ever. Because I will call the police on you, and I think that's fair.
Listen, and we don't judge. If you hide the party by cleaning up, and I still find confetti in the microwave, I'm keeping that deposit.
Facts.
Listen, I mean,
facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. Listen, if I smell a hint, like we had a guy and he didn't have a party, but again, it's smoking. He smoked in the property. We couldn't smell any smoke. The only thing we did see was the sock covering the smoke alarm.
They smelt smoke, but obviously you can't prove smelling smoke through.
But it wasn't strong enough for us to be like, oh yeah, like you know what I mean. Like people who smoke cigarettes. Like I've got colleagues at work who smoke cigarettes, and they've smoked clearly outside, but it's on their clothes when they come in.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear that they had smoked inside. Do you know what I mean? But what was clear was the smoke alarm being covered with a sock, and they forgot to take the sock off. I charged that bad boy. They argued back and forth with me, and I said, I don't care, take it up with the Prime Minister. Sue me if you have to, but that money is coming out of your account, because let me tell you something. It was written in the house rules. It was written in the contract that you signed. It was written in the rental agreement. We don't have a problem unless we have a problem. We now have a problem, so I've deducted your fee. Speak to the authorities about it. Don't speak to me. Amen. We're finished there. But anyways, I felt that was a little bit funny coming from ChatGPT. We just wanted to share that with you guys because how cute is ChatGPT? Learning my personality and all that. It's always about me. Love it. Anyway, so I'm actually excited about this one because I like a little bit of gossip. Oh my gosh. I love a little bit of a gossip. I'm so naughty. Anyway. I actually love a gossip. I tell you why I love a gossip, because I'm like, no way did you. And you've got to even put a little Cockney accent when you're talking about a gossip. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have a Cockney accent. Do you get what I'm saying? You got to be like, oh yeah, the gossip. You know, it's a gossip.
You watch too much TV, that's what
it is. I love a bit of Hollyoaks. You can't watch Hollyoaks no more though. Hollyoaks is like...
Anyway, get back to the thing.
ADHD. Okay, so... we have had this week, I think the start of this year, I think it's fair to say, a lot about exposing culture. Like exposing people in the property world, telling people's truths, letting people be butt naked in front of people so that people know the truth about people. And I find it quite bizarre. And I think it's going at quite a fast rate. Now, I just want to let you know, disclaimer, look, he's looking at me now. Look at how intense, get the camera on him because look how intensely he's looking at me. I am not going to accidentally say any names in this episode. Cindy is known for accidentally opening her mouth and saying the right people's information, but at the wrong time. Nobody will be exposed. I repeat, I struggle to repeat it, but nobody will be exposed in this because Sean has told me strongly and firmly that we will not be mentioning any names. So I'm not going to mention any names.
Listen, we're going to talk about the situation, right? And people will know roughly who we may not be talking about. But I'm not. Me and Cindy were going backwards and forwards. I'm not mentioning names. Why?
I will mention names.
No, I'm
I
not
will take it
mentioning
to the
names.
ground
Why?
with me.
Because they did not pay us any money for advertisement, right?
Thank you.
And there's no reason for me to mention your name. Again, for me, this is where me...
He's so sensible.
No, hold on. No, it's not just
He's
about
so
being sensible,
sensible.
but it's like, this is where me and you differ.
Oh,
right?
look.
No,
Now
this
he's
is
going to
where-
tell me about myself.
No.
Help.
This is where me and
Awful
you
back
differ,
up.
right? Because you don't mind...
Collateral damage.
You don't mind being destructive, fam.
No, I do mind, Sean. You got me all wrong.
No, yeah.
You've got me all wrong. I do mind.
No.
I have no
I don't care for
restrictions.
I don't care for
No,
it.
you're just sensible.
No,
this
I
is
just
what
don't care
sensible
for
looks
it.
like.
I
This is
don't
what
care
erratic
for
looks
it.
like.
What
Anyways,
excites
can
me
we get to the
doesn't
topic
excite
at hand because you're wasting my
Go-
valuable time.
Go ahead.
So, one of the topics, and I have to be extremely careful because once I'm talking, I talk and then I think after. So, what's been happening, a lot of you will know in the property space, is that there are two girls in the property space.
No. What we're not going to... No, what we're not...
You said no.
No.
What did I do wrong?
No. We're not going to do that.
So
we're not going to do that.
Right.
What we're going to talk
I'm
about...
not even doing...
No.
Wait.
Guys, in fact, this camera, just pan it over to me, please. Just pan it over to me. Just forget her, fam. Because, listen, we're talking about the property cancel culture, right? And me and Cindy have been discussing whether it's one, worth it to do, and whether it's actually ethical, right? Now, Cindy's been on the side of talking about, well, you know, if people are doing something wrong, they need to be outed. They need to be
held accountable. I don't think outed. I think they need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
If that's the last resort, like when we had that training and we couldn't get a hold of anyone, and it's a big training company, like a massive, like this person has millions, like is a millionaire, yeah. This person's got money, yeah.
Yeah.
And his team were ignoring us. Like we tried social media, like reaching out to them directly, not outing them on social media, like obviously DMing them. We tried emailing them, phone calls, messages, like WhatsApp. We tried every avenue, Facebook. We tried every avenue to get in contact with these people via the course itself, and no one was responding. So I said, as a last resort, if you don't respond to my flipping message, you have 2 days, 48 hours before I out you guys on social media, and all of a sudden we got a phone call. So I don't believe in outing, but I do understand it as a last resort.
So talking about that situation, the reason why I feel that is different to what the situations that have been happening recently, right? Where people have been outright just, you know, doing research and fully just out in the ins and outs of other people's business, and obviously how it affects the public as well who are involved. But I think what the main difference is there is when we were going to or threatening to out this big company or whatever, we weren't really threatening to out the company. We were threatening to out that person, the person that company works for. Does that make sense? But yeah, exactly. But then, and also we were involved in that. We were directly affected. So this was more of a thing. This was more of a thing that we're saying that we're going to do this in order to get a response. What people are doing now is, again, when it comes to cancel culture, I've never really believed in cancel culture anyway, because just because I don't like something or I've got an adverse view on something specific doesn't mean I must force that onto you and make you feel like you need to cancel them as well.
So you like the American ideal of like everyone can speak whatever they want to speak, basically.
They can do whatever they want to do. Do you know what I mean? I personally feel like, listen, if someone decides to go and just live life the way they want to go and live it, if they want to scam people, I'm not gonna lie. After I did watch the video of that you've been talking about.
Of the two girls.
I don't know. But I did watch that video, right, exposing certain things. But again, some of the DMs that were sent in to that person,
it was given lazy.
You then have to look at why are these people giving money away?
You have to explain the situation, Sean. You have to explain it. I will, for the sensitivity of the
No, go ahead.
For the sensitivity.
You're on a tightrope.
No, you have to. Okay, so there's two girls in the property game, right? They have done incredibly well for themselves, it seems. Again, I don't know them personally. I've never met them, never spoken to them. They have watched our story once because some of our their people have been like streaming over to us for our pricing strategies and stuff like that, right? They need help with their pricing, right? I will also say that personally, we have had like DMs about the situation itself. We won't disclose that because I will get in trouble with Sean. I'm not trying to get in trouble tonight. Yeah. It's a Sunday. I want peace, right? Okay, so the two girls are in the property game. They've done incredibly well for themselves, and they've created a mentorship out of what they've done and how they've been doing, I guess. Initially, they were in the rent-to-rent space and was doing rent-to-rents.
There's no need for all this content.
No, it is because the person who outs them is also in rent-to-rent space, which is why they outed them.
Okay, so...
just let me be. Just let me be. Just let me be. Right, so that they created a mentorship group, and then there's like whispers in the grapevine about how terrible this mentorship group was and that they weren't getting the support. They felt scammed by it. There was like different pricings. That all came out to a particular person within the rent-to-rent space who them two groups of people, so the two girls and this person, had some sort of prior relationship in terms of they knew each other. Not like anything like nothing intimate. I'm talking more like they knew each other. They were associates, right? And so after this person had heard loads of people's experiences of the two girls mentorship program, they decided it was their duty to out people, out this information, possibly tainting, and with the intent, I would say, to taint their business. And essentially, that's what's happened. They've delivered information that had screenshots of people sharing what they weren't happy about with the mentorship. But I want to just give a level. Sean's scarred. Look at Sean. Sean is scarred. There's no holding me back. There's no jailing me, guys. Okay, anyway, continuing. But it's important to talk about because it could have been us. It couldn't have been us, to be honest, because we're never a scammer. Do you get? We're never a scammer.
Anyway. Cool. Anyway, it couldn't have been us.
No, it could never be us.
We don't operate.
No, not even like that. I mean, what I'm trying to say is it could be us, not for those reasons, but someone could not like us for whatever reason and then have a mission to just go for us. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like a part of it, and I know it's probably not appropriate to say, but I feel like a part of it is knowing that somebody else is in a space that might be not the same level as you and wanting to bring them down from that. I don't think it's anybody's place to bring anybody down from anywhere if they're not personally affected by these issues. I think it's very difficult to argue somebody else's case if you were never there to begin with. It's almost like somebody trying to, I don't know, get involved in a HR situation just because they don't like somebody, even though they weren't there. So I don't know. It's just like, for me, it's like, why you? Like, wrong messenger is probably what I'm saying.
I liken it to, at work, your colleague has seen you do something, goes and tells your manager, and your manager tells you off for doing that, but your manager didn't see what will happen. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, again, in this situation, it wouldn't have been that bad if someone who was directly affected by it had rallied up people and gone and done
That's what I think.
Then,
wrong messenger.
Cool.
Wrong
Carry
messenger.
On, do whatever you got to do.
Wrong messenger,
but, yeah, as you said, like wrong messenger, that person didn't need to do it. And then it was also, you got to think about the effects of that going through this, because of course it's, to some degree, it's going to damage. There's going to be damage on both sides.
Yeah.
The person exposing and the person being exposed.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
See what I'm saying? So there's going to be, you have to equate, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is going through this worth it? And then you also need to now think about, what is the sole purpose of it, of doing it? Is it to just highlight what's been going on? Or is it to actually monetize and gain off of the downfall of others?
And this is the thing, I think the scandal itself is not the first time for the person who's outing, and I think that's how they initially may have got their following. And I think a part of me feels like it was clickbait. Like, whilst you say you care, a part of me does feel like it could be clickbaity. And also, I feel like, great, you might have got more followers from this, but are they followers that are actually going to help your business? Are they followers that's actually going to...
It's people that just want
negativity
know,
that like if you have
the drama.
If you have negative followers, your business will be negative. Like that's just what I think. If you have followers who like positivity, who like to be drawn to you because they like your mindset and they have the equal mindset, it's going to flourish. I think personally, initially, I'm going to be completely real. I was like, no, damn right, you should out. I don't like the sense of injustice. I don't like people being hard done by. I don't like people being taken the mick out of them. And I'm someone who will also stand up for somebody who is not able to have a voice. However, I think it's very important for things to be done in a way that's rational and professional. When you run a business, you've got to be professional at all times. You don't get a moment to not be professional. I can go out to the clubs, I'm not known, but let's say if I was known and I was a celebrity, I could go out to the clubs on a weekend and not have anything to do with what, it's got to do with my work or whatever, but understand that people are still watching me and that could impact my image later on. And I think it's the same thing about running a business. Like you might think, oh, this has nothing to do with my business, so I'm just going to chat about it. But at the end of the day, it does impact your business because people think if that's how you run day to day in life, how do you run your business? So I personally do think at first I was like, yep, that information deserves to be out there, which a part of me still thinks it does. I just think it was handled the absolute wrong way, and I think the wrong messenger gave the information. But again, that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's scales to it, and I guess this is what my issue was at the beginning. I know there's some obviously specific people that you wanted to talk about, but I feel like the picture is much bigger than that. I think there's different scales. I think on a scale that this is a small scale.
Yeah, it's a smaller scale, even though it probably feels very big for them.
Yeah. But what we even wanted to talk about is on the bigger scale where it comes to cancel culture and things like that. And sometimes where you have big people who are cancelling also smaller companies.
Yeah.
Cancelling the smaller fish because they know they can and they know they have
or they're threatened and they don't want them to get people.
They have, do you know what I mean? So if they're threatened, they know that straight away. They have cronies who will, attack as soon as they give a demand.
Yeah.
So if someone ever steps up against them, straight away they just need to put a target on someone's back, and their soldiers will go and do their work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna get in trouble again.
No. See, why can you? Yeah.
Because I have to be honest.
Do you think that you can talk about a situation without talking about the individuals?
No.
Why?
Because the individuals were.
Well, then your podcast session ends here then. Honestly, like, listen, I don't care for the drama. I really don't.
It's not about the drama. It's about telling the truth to the people.
But you keep saying telling the truth to the people, but that same thing.
Why am I being told off?
No, hold on 1 second. That same sense of injustice that you feel, can get you in another situation that could land you in jail for joint enterprise. I'm
happy to go to prison for the
that's
right
where
cause.
You carry on.
Call me Robin Hood.
You carry on.
But I think based on...
had ever heard of Robin Hood after he went jail?
I've watched the Robin Hood movie many times, so
anyway.
Only his true followers would know. Anyways, but yeah, I agree with you. I feel like the bigger fish are definitely trying to cancel the smaller fish, or like poo essentially on the ones below. And it's showing up in different ways. I think it's showing up in attacking like perspectives, or like we know someone that provides learning and training.
Yeah, we just know someone. Yeah,
I didn't know if you knew who I was talking about.
Yeah,
but
okay, cool.
We know someone who provides learning and training. And why are you looking at me? I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything else.
Slow down.
I'm tamed. No, but I also think if we were to say what we wanted to say about what our experience was, we would be scared of the backlash of that, because they defo have an army, a whole army, and an army of like, it's scary. It's like worshipping to me. It's like cult vibes.
Yeah.
I've not even said anything wrong. I've not even said anything wrong. What have I said? Do you want to take a sidebar?
Carry on.
Am I saying something wrong?
Not at all. No, because you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
So why are you smirking?
just carry on.
I'm on easy now.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, carry on. You was onto something great. You was onto something good.
Yeah, but I was a little bit. I think we'd be scared. See, I'm not. You know, you had to talk me out of it, but I was gonna out. But I can also understand again the sensible response of like they are armied up. But I do feel like when people are being, it's not just for us, not just for the benefit of us and what we've gone through with that person or team or whatever. But I've seen other smaller fish be fried, lose money. Like this is parents who have
suffocated,
who aren't able to get a refund, who've shown, if you're unhappy with a service, like I've done it time and time and time again where I've been like, I have not been happy with your service, I'm not paying. And for some reason in the property world, that can't run. You can't tell a sourcer you're unhappy with the property and to give you a refund because I'll be like, well, you saw something, that's it. You can't tell your mentor, I'm really unhappy with how you've been mentoring me, I feel like I haven't succeeded because of you. They'll be like, well, you paid and you've had access to the stuff and that's it.
Well, that's a great area.
No, I hear it, but it's the truth. It's still the truth. It's like it's a place, and I know it's like.
You're saying that people can't say that full stop.
Like no, that you can say that, but you don't get anything. Like I feel like we're living in a world within the property space where refunds are not something that are handed. I need a refund. If you've disappointed me in something that you promised to achieve and you didn't achieve it, give me a refund. That shouldn't be a question. If one of our mentees truly said to us, and we knew they were working hard, Sean, and we were lazy, like every time that they were booking calls with us, we weren't attending them, or they'd be asking us to go viewings with them, and we were like, sorry, I've got to go. I'm going Mallorca this week, or you know what I mean? It's like you just don't care. We forget that it's not the actual action, it's the feeling behind action that people pick up on.
Yeah, but this is again where I think it's a little bit different, because when you explain the situation, putting us in there, you said that we knew that they were working hard and stuff like that. We know that, but then the situation that you were talking about before, sometimes like people are saying, okay, well, I joined your mentorship and it didn't help me to get anywhere. First thing,
but you can always tell.
But the first, I'm sorry,
you
but
can always tell.
The first thing I'm gonna look at is, okay, what have you done?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna look at, have you looked at any of the modules that we've given you? Have you looked at any of the course materials? Have you looked at any? Have you been booking calls with us? Have you been doing any? If you've been doing what you need to do to try and help yourself in this situation, and then I look at my part and I'm like, you know what? There's times where you booked calls and I haven't been able to do that. Fair enough. We can start to look at that. But if you want to tell me that you haven't succeeded because of me, but you ain't even opened up the whole course, you don't even know what.
I hear it.
There's no way. There's honestly no way. So this is why I'm always like, listen, you need to be able to help yourself before anyone comes to your rescue. And
I hear it. But my true feeling is there's damage on both parts that have been caused. I think the earlier situation that we were talking about, where I think there's fault on both sides. I think some of the mentees, I could tell from their responses that they were lazy. Some of them, I can tell from things like, oh, and we couldn't do this. We've been calling and we hadn't had any results. Mate, that is rent to rent. Like you will call and it will probably be your 500th call where you'll get a yes. That is rent to rent. Don't cry about it, Bridget. Otherwise you're not supposed to be in this phase. I was in there for 3 months and I wasn't given a property. Property's not given. It's not gonna come. Like you have to pay for that. You can't. Do you know what I mean? So I think there was some where it was just like excuses, and you could just tell the excuses. And I did. Sorry.
I was even just thinking like, if that was the case and this person actually wanted to shine light on these people and what they were doing and being fair as well, they would have challenged those DMs that came in as well. Yeah. They would have challenged all DMs. You know what I mean? And been fair. Yeah. Because a lot of them were just like, again, I feel like a lot of the time people like to pay for a shortcut, but they don't even know if that shortcut is the shortcut to the route that they were on anyway. Yeah, or the route that they're trying to get to.
I do think 3 months is wild for any rent to rent thing. It's true. Don't look at me like that. So many people have free. Let's not even one of our mentees said free. They had a 3 month one as well. Remember? And he struggled. That's not the same one that we're talking
The
about.
reason why I'm looking at you is because I don't want to start getting into the nitty gritty.
No, but you can't be scared of that. Don't be terrified.
Don't do that. I just don't care for it.
No, but the fact is, it's important for people to know. I don't care. I'm going to tell you guys, because at the end of the day, I would not want you signing up for a 3-month course on rent to rent if the course's purpose is for you to scale up. 3 months is not going to help you achieve getting to rent. Look, he's rolling his eyes, but we've spoken about it.
100%.
And it is wrong. It is wrong.
We have spoken about it, but do you know what? As well,
you're not going to get to rent to renting.
No. But
you can do. We did, but still.
I do. I personally, that's not what I'm here to discuss.
Sorry,
it's
boss.
not what I'm here to discuss. Like,
sorry, boss.
You could talk
Who do
about
you think
it.
wears the trousers?
That's not, again, listen, we're time's done.
Okay, but the fact
Let
is,
us know if you want
don't join any 3-month. Do not, before he takes me off the mic, do not join any rent to rents. No, I'm joking. But seriously, I feel like cancel culture is a big thing in the property community at the moment, and people are trying to outshine each other because it's become a very competitive space. I feel like before, the property space was a very low-key space, even before we joined it. And of recent, because we're having a lot of youngins come into the space, a lot of goons. No, I'm joking. But it is a lot of younger people. A lot of younger people are taking up the space. It's becoming a lot more competitive, and it's not becoming as professional as it was before. We knew the property space as a space for the older community, where you're like 30, 40 plus, where you are now putting your money in spaces that help you and benefit you and your family. It's now gotten to 15, 16. I saw something the other day of a 16-year-old landlord, and it's like, great, but also we've got to understand level of maturity, guys. Like, just because you're a landlord at 16 doesn't necessarily mean you're mature. Doesn't necessarily mean that your mindset is mature. I do think cancel culture is wrong. I think it's wrong in any space, because who are you to determine whether somebody should be cancelled or not run their business? Just don't support them. I don't like what flipping, I'm not going to say it before he's going to tell me off, but there's one of them people who are in prison right now from the R&B scene. I don't like anything I'm hearing, and I'm not going to support it, and I'm not going to stand with it. But there's some people who are still going to listen to that music and get involved in that. And it's down to you to make the choice for yourself. I'm not going to go there, I'm not there with them to give all that information. But anyway, I could go on for as long as I can. Guys, free me, because I'm going to be in trouble. Please, if I blink twice, save me, call the police. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, because I'm not allowed to speak anymore. I'm being silenced. So yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching to the end, guys. We really appreciate it. As a little thank you gift to you, we would like to give you an invite to join our free WhatsApp community, where we drop a lot of gems.
If you're still watching, then thank you so much. But more importantly, if you could like and subscribe to this channel to help us bring you more content that we know you'll just love.